In this video, we're going to talk about 10 rules to a successful second marriage.
All right.
When we're speaking about a second marriage,
Right.
we have to understand a few things. Everybody got bags.
That's right.
What's that song, baby?
Bag lady?
Yeah,
You
bag.
gonna miss your bus?
Carrying all them bags like that. My name is JOMO.
I'm Charmaine.
And we come together to give you real, raw, and relevant conversation
Right.
in reference to relationships.
Right.
Today we're dealing with 10 rules for a successful second marriage. Now, before we get started, I want you to know we got a lot of information from Dr. Gottman, who is the OG in biblical marriage ideas and concepts, studied this concept for 40 plus years. So we're touching a lot of his insight on this. Now, when we're speaking about a second marriage,
Right.
we have to understand a few things. Everybody got bags.
That's right.
What's that song, baby?
Bag lady?
Yeah,
You
bag.
gonna miss your bus?
Carrying all them bags like that. So we have to be mindful that everyone will have bags. Everyone will have an issue. Everyone will have something they come into the relationship with. There are no perfect people.
Right. And the divorce rate in the United States is really high. It's over 60 or 50%.
The
right?
second marriage, it goes up to 60%.
Okay, the second marriage, it goes up to 60%.
And the question is, why is the second marriage divorce rate higher? Well,
Right.
we come in with more issues.
Right. And there's more factors involved, especially if both of you are going into your second marriage.
Correct.
So.
And if the initial marriage, the first marriage, had infidelity,
Right.
abuse,
Right.
addiction, all these
You're
things.
bringing those
You're
things.
bringing that trauma into
Hopefully.
this current relationship.
Right.
So now when your husband or wife are working late, you're
Right.
thinking they're cheating.
Right.
Because bags.
And the thing is you could feel like you totally healed from it. You took divorce care, you took steps, you got counseling after. And then when you get into your next relationship, you see traits from your last relationship. And it brings you right back to
Correct.
where you were before.
Correct.
So you want to make sure you're not bringing old things into your new relationship. Yeah.
Then you have to be vulnerable. And this is so hard because when someone has hurt you, it's realistic to be guarded.
Right.
You want to protect yourself.
Absolutely.
You never want to be hurt again. So therefore now you're not as vulnerable and you're not as open. I can't love with my arms like this. If I want to love, I got to keep my hands open. But the challenge is when I open myself, I leave myself vulnerable to be hurt.
Right, right.
And lastly,
Right. Create realistic expectations.
You gotta set the right expectations for it. That we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Marriage will not be perfect.
Right.
So we have to understand that we are in agreement.
Right.
That we're willing to work together to
Right.
have a better union.
Absolutely.
Okay, so here's some keys. Those are the foundation principles. But here's some keys that will help you with the rules for a second marriage.
All right.
Build a culture of appreciation,
Number
respect,
one.
and tolerance.
Build a culture of
Appreciation, respect, and tolerance. You can't say enough how much you appreciate what they do. The number one need of a man is respect, and the number one need of a woman is security.
Right.
So we should always be feeding these needs.
Right.
Appreciation, respect, tolerance. Because again, we're trying to learn each other. And we can't take those backs in the past into this current relationship.
Right.
Number two,
practice being vulnerable in small steps.
there it is.
So you want to make sure that you're opening up to your partner, that you're quote unquote naked and unashamed, that you're really letting them get to know who you are and how you feel about certain things when you feel them versus holding on to things and guarding yourself, as Jomo said.
And you have to, piece by piece. When I think about our marriage, there were things I didn't learn until 10 years in,
Right.
12 years in. And so at the pace a person reveals, you kind of have to let that flow.
Right. And you grow faster. The more you reveal and the more you can be open and honest with each other in a loving way.
Correct.
In a loving way where they can receive in a loving way. Your relationship can grow.
Yeah,
and
because-
you have more of a connection, don't you?
Yeah, because people really want to understand you.
Right.
Like, I would wonder why she do certain things, but she wouldn't explain to me the story. but she wasn't ready.
Because sometimes it's embarrassing, or you feel like you're going to be judged. So you don't want to open up with certain things. But when you do open up, it feels so much better to get that weight off.
Correct.
And the other person, like you said, can understand why you do what you do.
Number 3, create time and a relaxed atmosphere to interact with your partner. Build in time for each other to just communicate and talk. Right. We got to learn each other.
Make each other priority. Yeah.
Number 4,
discuss expectations to avoid misunderstanding.
Now, see, this is so key.
This is huge.
Expectation exercise.
Right. What I expect from you and what you expect from me is so important, because this can be the foundation of how you run your marriage and how you incorporate who does what and what I'm willing to bring to the table and what my insecurities are with certain things that you may expect from me. So this is so important for you to do even before you get married. I mean,
Correct.
This is awesome. But if you're already married and you're in your second marriage, it's never too late to do an expectation exercise.
For your knowledge, if you want to do one, here's what you do. You get a piece of paper and you write down, this is what I expect from my husband. And then you write down, this is what I expect from my wife. And you take time, don't do it quickly, process it for a week or two. And then you come back and you have a discussion about what you expect from your husband or spouse. The reason why people fail or struggle in relationships is we're not clear or explicit with our expectations. Now, I heard that person in the back. Well, Pastor, I told them. JOMO, I told them. I understand that. But you can tell a person one time. The key aspect is once we set an expectation, we come back and then we make an agreement. Can you fulfill what I expect?
Right.
Because see, that means if a person says they cannot fulfill, you may have married the wrong person. That's why it's critical you do these expectation exercises up front.
Right.
Number 5, prepare for conflict.
It's always going to be some conflict.
It's not going to change.
Right. No relationship is without some conflict sometime. If you tell me you've never been in a disagreement, you've never been in an argument, I would say you're not in a relationship.
Yeah. 2 people, 2 minds, believing they're right ends in conflict.
Of course, because I'm right and he's right.
Well, we know
he
I'm
thinks
right.
He's right.
No, I am right.
And I know that I'm right.
No, I am right. I have a PhD. I'm right.
You have a PhD in being right?
Yeah. I am right. So with that, you have to be ready for conflict.
Right.
Research states that 69% of things in relationships will not change. So you have to be mindful that sometimes you're trying to change people that are not going to change.
Right.
People don't change much. Especially talking about a second marriage. This is who the person is. That's why it's so critical that you do a total analysis of, is this person the one for me?
Right.
Number 6.
Communicate effectively. The art of communication is it's hard. And what's really interesting, when you're in a relationship, it can tend to change over time. So you have to evolve with it. So as you learn and grow, you may change how you effectively communicate to each other.
Key thing, less eyes. More eyes. Or is it less shoes? No.
It's
I feel.
More we's, right?
Yeah, no. I feel versus you. Meaning, own how you feel and don't. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Own how you feel. I feel like this versus you make me feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Number 7. Key. Deal breaker right here. Embrace being a step parent.
Oh, this is so good, because when you marry your spouse,
Lord
you may
have
have gotten some bonus children. And you got
double bonus, triple bonus.
And you may, and also with your bonus children come their bonus parent.
Oh my God.
And you want to make sure, in an ideal situation, your spouse and their ex are on good terms as far as co-parenting.
Yes.
And if they're on good terms as far as co-parenting and you're joining in on the co-parenting, you want to have a good relationship with that spouse, because ultimately you're going to have their precious children with you at some point in time, and they're going to have to ease their mind in knowing that you're going to take care of their child like you would take care of your own.
You guys have to come into agreement with how we are going to communicate and discipline them.
Right.
This is a very touchy subject that you really have to be locked in on.
And it's a difficult conversation, but it's a necessary conversation.
Number 8, attune yourself
to your
partner. Okay, what does this mean? You have to really lock in, look them in the eye, communicate. Here's the key point. Dr. Gottman said, for every negative statement, you need 5 positive statements to fix what you just said.
Right.
My God. So we really have to be mindful with our words. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. The Bible says a woman tears her house down with the mouth, with her words. So we have to be mindful of how we communicate. We have to communicate in a manner that we can help each other. All right, number 9. Establish open dialogue. As we go through this process of a second marriage, we have to be willing to have moments where we can be open, transparent, and real.
Right.
You don't have to keep anything bottled up. The reason why many times we go through divorces is because things have been bottled up. It weren't talked about. And so I think in the new relationship, we want to make sure we deal with things on the spot. What do you mean by that? If something goes wrong, let's talk about it within that day. Don't harbor it. Don't hold it back. We got to talk about this thing, because oftentimes we harbor things and then it leads to a boiling point and then we explode. No, we got to talk about these things.
Right.
And lastly,
all right, number 10,
practice forgiveness. Listen, you have to master confession and forgiveness.
Yeah.
You're going to mess up. You're going to blow it. You're going to say it wrong.
They're going to mess it up.
And
they're going to blow it. And you're going
to have to really lock in on forgiveness.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how many times this chick over here got me to the boiling point. But I just said, Lord, I forgive her. I'm playing.
No, I mean, I'm sure you've had to forgive me for some things that I've done.
And she's had to forgive me a lot more.
I've had to forgive, and he's had to forgive. And I think the key to forgiveness, especially in marriage, is not bringing it up every time you get upset with the person.
Good. That's good.
And true forgiveness drops that weight totally.
Yes.
Like sometimes he will bring up things that he's done, and I've totally forgotten.
Thank you,
Jesus. Totally forgotten about it.
Thank you, Jesus.
And he's reminding me, I'm like, we've never had that issue before. And he's like, yes, we have.
I'm so thankful that she doesn't have a good memory in reference to that. That's a blessing to God.
You have to, and it's a blessing for me, and it's a blessing for our relationship.
Yes.
Because if you're harboring ill thoughts about the person, you're never going to be able to really truly be your 100% true self. Forgiveness
is not forgetting. Forgiveness is choosing not to keep bringing it up.
That's right.
Okay. Well,
all right.
We love you to life. Remember, love, laugh, and learn.